Hayle sits on the western side of St Ives Bay, where the little river widens into a broad estuary of sandbanks, tidal pools and shifting channels. At first glance, it may seem like a rather plain Cornish town on the way to the beach, but look a little closer and there's a much deeper story here. One shaped by the sea, industry, trade and the constant movement of water. This area has long been connected with trade, travel and the sea. The estuary was important for shipping and industry, and there are long-standing traditions linking this part of Cornwall with ancient trading routes, including stories of Phoenician traders coming to Cornwall in search of tin over 2,000 years ago. Whether taken as history or folklore, those stories add to the sense that Hayle has been looking outwards for a very long time. The town is really two old settlements that have grown together, Foundry at one end and Copperhouse at the other. Foundry is by far the more interesting for visitors, with the harbour, the viaduct, old industrial buildings and heritage sites. Copperhouse these days is more of the everyday commercial part of town, useful and not without interest, but probably not worth the walk unless you need a dentist or new sofa. This is Foundry Square, the historic heart of Hayle's industrial story. It may look fairly calm now, but back in the 18th and 19th centuries this area was a powerhouse of global engineering. The name comes from Harvey's foundry, which was founded by John Harvey in 1779. The Hayle Heritage Centre is based in the former Harvey and Company offices at 24 Foundry Square, and next door is the former White's warehouse, now repurposed to home offices and the salt bar. What began as a local business grew into one of Cornwall's most important engineering works, producing steam engines and machinery for mines and industries across Cornwall and beyond. Above the square is the railway viaduct, one of Hayle's most striking landmarks. The original viaduct here was designed by Brunel and opened in the 1850s. The present granite structure replaced it later and still carries trains on the main line between Penzance and London. Looking across Penpol Creek, you can get a sense of how closely Hayle's story is tied to the water. Penpol Creek is one of several harbours and quays around the town, reflecting Hayle's past as both an industrial port and a fishing community. The sluice gates, harbour walls and pools around Hayle were all part of that working system. Carnsue Pool and Copperhouse Pool helped manage the movement of water and keep the channels clear, which was essential for shipping. South Quay and Penpol Creek were once part of a busy harbour landscape, with vessels bringing in coal and other goods, and taking away metalwork, ore and machinery. It's quieter now, but the shape of the old harbour is still very clear. Walking along Penpol Terrace gives you one of the best views back across the water. There are benches, planted areas, and open views over the harbour, so it's a good place to slow down and take in the setting. The shop fronts at the ends of the gardens are one of Hayle's little quirks. It's one of those places where the town's layers sit side by side, homes, shops, harbour, railway and industry, all pressed close together. Around this end of Penpol Terrace and Foundry Square, Hayle feels especially easy to explore on foot. There are cafes, small shops and places to stop, and it has a relaxed feel without losing the sense that this is still a working town.
Philps is probably the best known pasty shop in Hayle, and for many visitors it's a bit of a local landmark in its own right. Pasties are part of the town's visitor experience now, just as much as the harbour views and historic buildings.
Nearby, the Royal Standard, the War Memorial and the rows of terraced houses give this part of Hayle a more everyday character. Hayle is not just a visitor backdrop. People live here, work here, shop here, argue about parking here. The terraced houses also tell part of the industrial story. Hayle grew because people came here to work, in foundries, on the quays, on the railway, in shipping and engineering. It was a hard-working town long before it was a place for a leisurely wander. St Elwyn's Church is one of Hayle's most visible landmarks. Built in the late 19th century, it reflects the town's growth and confidence during that period, when the town was still shaped strongly by industry and trade. From here, we return to the remains of Harvey's foundry. The walls, the old industrial buildings, and even the siege cannon that was cast here all help give Foundry its character. There's something very satisfying about this part of Hayle. You can still read the old town in the stones. It hasn't all been smoothed away into anonymous newness. Foundry Lane is especially good for that. It has been restored and repurposed, with old buildings finding new lives as offices and workspaces. Not frozen or abandoned, but quietly useful again. Victorian industry now with super fast broadband. Walking through Foundry Lane, you get a real sense of how important Harvey's once was to the town. The company produced engines and machinery that were used far beyond Hayle, and the town became known for high-quality engineering at a time when Cornwall was at the centre of the mining world. A short walk away, the atmosphere changes at the Millpond and Millpond Gardens. It's a quieter, greener space, and although it also has links to the town's industrial past, today it's more of a place for peaceful pause and getting to know the local ducks. This contrast is one of the things that makes Hayle interesting. You move quickly from harbour and foundry buildings to gardens, water, cottages, and almost rural views. It's not a town with one single focus, it's a place made up of connected parts.
As our walk continues, we pass Hampsons, another well-known pasty shop in Hayle, and arguably the best in town.
From here we head towards the King George V Memorial Walk, one of Hayle's loveliest green spaces. The footpath winds through a long stretch of gardens and mature planting, with open views across Copperhouse Pool. At high tide, when the water fills the basin and catches the light, this is one of the prettier corners of the town. It's especially good for a gentle stroll on a Sunday afternoon, when the road is closed to traffic and you can take advantage of the space. At Black Bridge, Copperhouse Pool comes fully into view. Copperhouse developed around the Cornish Copper Company, which established its works here in the 18th century. This end of Hayle had its own industrial identity, separate from Harvey's foundry, and the rivalry between the two helped shape the town. Copperhouse today feels more commercial and everyday than Foundry. Down the line surf shop is a reminder that Hayle is almost, but not quite, a beach town. Gwithian, the Towans, and the wide sands of St Ives Bay are nearby, and for many visitors they are the main reason for coming to this area. St George's Hall adds another note of civic history to Copperhouse, and the high street itself has a practical local feel. It is less photogenic than Foundry, but it is still part of the real character of the town. The best views in Copperhouse come when the street opens out towards Copperhouse Pool. From here, the town suddenly feels much more spacious again, with water, sky and bird life becoming the focus. From above, Copperhouse Pool shows how strongly Hayle is shaped by water. The harbour, river, pools and estuary all connect together, giving the town its unusual layout and much of its character. Hayle Outdoor Swimming Pool is another lovely, slightly old-fashioned feature, the sort of place that feels properly seaside and reflects the town's role as both a local community and a holiday destination. And then, as we come back out over North Quay and the river mouth, Hayle's biggest selling point becomes obvious. The town itself is interesting, but the setting is the real star. You have the estuary, the harbour, the towers, the huge sweep of sand, and views across St Ives Bay. Hayle is not as polished as St Ives, not as quaint as some postcard villages, and not always conventionally pretty from every angle. But that's part of what makes it worth visiting. It has texture, it has working town honesty, it has proper history, a remarkable industrial past, peaceful waterside walks, good cafes, famous pasties, and some of the best beach access in West Cornwall. So, is Hayle worth visiting? Well, if you've got an hour or two to spare, especially when it isn't beach weather, Hayle is well worth a wander. It's not Cornwall at its prettiest or most polished, but if you enjoy harbour views, old industrial corners, and poking around somewhere with a bit of heritage,
then why not?